continue reading The Little Prince from the chapter 16, and you can also prepare the cup of tea and enjoy it with me. The seventh planet then was Earth. Earth isn't any old planet. It boasts 111 kings, not forgetting, of course, African chieftains, 7,000 geographers, 900,000 businessmen, 7.5 million drunkards, 311 million vain people, all told, about 2 billion grown-ups. To give you an idea of Earth's dimension, I will tell you that before the invention of electricity, it was necessary across the 6 continents to maintain a veritable army of 462,511 lamplighters. From a distance, the effect was splendid. The movements of this army were regulated like those of ballet company. First, it was the turn of the lamplighters of New Zealand and Australia. Then, these having lit their lamps, went off to sleep. Into the dance came the lamplighters of China and Siberia. Then they too were conjured away into the wings. Next, it was the turn of the lamplighters of Russia and the Indies, then those of Africa and Europe, then those of America, then those of North America, and not once did they mix up the order of their entrances on stage. It was grandiose. Only the lighter of the one street lamp at the North Pole and his colleague of the one street lamp at the South Pole led lives of idleness and ease. They worked twice a year. Sometimes, when you're trying to be witty, it can happen that you fever a little. I haven't been entirely honest in telling you about the lamplighters. I'm in danger of giving a false impression of our plan to those who don't know it. Humans occupy very little space on Earth. If the Earth's 2 billion inhabitants stood together, packed a bit tightly, as if in meeting, they would fit easily into a public square 20 miles long by 20 miles wide. One could cram humanity onto the very smallest Pacific island. Grown-ups, of course, will not believe you. They think they take up lots of space. They believe themselves to be as substantial as baobabs. You will advise them, then, to do their sums. They love figures. It will make them happy. But don't waste your time on this horror. It's unnecessary, trust me. The little prince then, having arrived on Earth, was most surprised not to see anyone. He was beginning to worry that he'd got the wrong planet when a coil the color of the moon strayed in the sand. "Good evening," said the little prince tentatively. "Good evening," said the snake. "What planet have I landed on?" asked the little prince. "On Earth, in Africa," replied the snake. "Oh, are there no people on Earth then?" "This is a desert. There's nobody in the desert. The Earth is big," said the snake. Little Prince sat on a stone and looked up at the sky. "I wonder," he said, "if the stars shine so that everyone can one day find their own again. Look at my planet. It's right above us. How far away it is." "It's beautiful," said the snake. "What brings you here?" "I have some troubles with the flower," said the little prince. "Oh," said the snake. And they were both silent. Where are the people? The little prince continued at last. It's a bit lonely in the desert. It's also lonely among people, said the snake. The little prince looked at him for a long time. What a funny creature you are, he said at last. As thin as a finger. But I am more powerful than the finger of a king, said the snake. The little prince smiled. You're not all that powerful. You don't even have legs. You can't even travel. I can take you farther away than any boat, said the snake. It curled itself around the little prince's ankle like a golden bracelet. Wherever I touch, I return to the ground whence they came. It continued, but you are pure and come from a star. The little prince gave no reply. I feel sorry for you. You're so weak on this earth of granite. I can help you one day if you miss your planet too much. I can. Oh, I've understood well enough, said the little prince. But why do you always talk in riddles? I solved them all, said the snake, and they were both silent. The little prince walked across the desert and encountered only one flower, a flower with the 3 petals, an insignificant flower. Hello, said the little prince. Hello, said the flower. Where are the people? The little prince asked politely. The flower had once seen a caravan go by. People? I believe there are 6 or 7 of them. I glimpsed them years ago, but you never know where to find them. The wind blows them about. They lack roots. It's mostly troubling for them. Very well, said the little prince. Very well, said the flower. The little prince climbed a tall mountain. The only mountains he had ever known were the 3 volcanoes that came up to his knee, and he used the extinct volcano as a stool. From a mountain as high as this, he told himself, I'll be able to see the whole planet and all the people in one go. But he saw only sharpened needles of rocks. Hello, he said, trying his luck. Hello, 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 replied the echo. Who are you? Said the little prince. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Replied the echo. Be my friends. I'm alone, he said. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone, replied the echo. What a strange planet. He knows that. It's all dry and pointy and salty, and people have no imagination. They repeat what you say to them. Back home I had a flower. She was always the first to speak. Having walked a long time through sandy wasted rocks and snows, it happened that the little prince came upon a road, and all roads lead to people. Hello, he said. It was a garden full of roses. Hello, said the roses. The little prince looked at them. They all looked like his flower. Who are you? He asked them in astonishment. We are roses, said the roses. Oh, said the little prince, and he felt very miserable. His flower had told him that she was alone of her kind in the universe. And here there were 5,000 all alike in just one garden. She would be most upset, he told himself. If she saw this, she would cough heavily and pretend to die to escape the ridicule. And what choice would I have but to pretend to look after her? humiliated me too. She really would let herself die. Then he said to himself, I thought I was blessed with a unique flower, and I only have an ordinary rose, that and my 3 knee-high volcanoes, one of which is probably extinct forever, don't make me much of a prince. And lying in the grass he wept. At this moment the fox appeared. Hello, said the fox. Hello, replied the little prince politely, turning around but seeing nothing. I'm here, said the voice, under the apple tree. Who are you? Said the little prince. You're pretty. I'm a fox, said the fox. Come and play with me, the little prince asked him. I'm so sad. I can't play with you, said the fox. I've not been tamed. Oh, sorry, said the little prince, but after thinking about it, he added, What does tame mean? You are not from these parts, said the fox. What are you looking for? I'm looking for people, said the little prince. What does tame mean? People, said the fox, have guns and go hunting. It's so inconvenient. They also raise chickens. It's all they are good for. Are you looking for chickens? No, said the little prince. I'm looking for friends. What does tame mean? It's something too well forgotten, said the fox. It means to forge bones. Forge bones? Of course, said the fox. As far as I'm concerned, you are just another little boy, not different from 100,000 other little boys. I don't need you, and you don't need me either. As far as you're concerned, I'm just a fox like 100,000 other foxes. But if you tame me, we'll need one another. You will be unique in the world for me. I will be unique in the world for you. I'm beginning to understand, said the little prince. There's this flower, I think she tamed me. It's possible, said the fox. You see all sorts on earth. Oh, this isn't earth on earth, said the little prince. The fox seems most intrigued. On another planet? Yes. There are hundreds of this planet? No, that's interesting. And chickens? No, nothing perfect, sighed the fox. But the fox returned to his idea. My life is monotonous. I chase chickens, men chase me. All chickens look alike, and all men look alike. No wonder I get a bit bored. But if you tame me, it will be as if my life is filled with sunlight. I will know a sound of footstep that will be different from all others. Other footsteps make me run for shelter. Yours will call me out of my burrow like music. And then look, you see over there those fields of wheat? I don't eat bread. Wheat's useless food to me. Fields of wheat don't remind me of anything, and that's sad. But you have golden hair, so it will be marvelous when you have tamed me. Wheat, being golden, will remind me of you, and I will love the sound of the wind in the wheat. The fox went quiet and watched the little prince for a long time. Please, tame me, he said. Gladly, replied the little prince, but I don't have much time. I have friends to find and lots of things to learn. We can only know the things we tame, said the fox. Men no longer have time to get to know anything. They buy things ready-made from the shops, but since there aren't any shops, that sell friends. Men no longer have friends. If it's friend you want, tame me. What must I do? Said the little prince. You have to be very patient, replied the fox. First, you'll sit a little away from me, like this, in the grass. I will watch you in the corner of my eye, and you'll say nothing. Language leads to misunderstanding, but each day you will be able to sit a little bit closer. The little prince returned the next day. It would have been better to have come back at the same time, said the fox. If, for instance, you come at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I will start to be happy from 3 o'clock. The closer the time comes, the happier I will be. As soon as it's 4 o'clock, I'll get restless and worried. I will discover the piece of happiness. But if you come at any old time, I won't ever know at what time to ready my heart. There have to be rituals. What rituals? Said the little prince. It's something else that's been too well forgotten, said the fox. It's what makes one day different from other days, 1 hour from other hours. The men who hunt me, for instance, have a ritual. On Thursday, they go dancing with the girls of the village. And so Thursday is a wonderful day. I go strolling all the way to the vineyard. If the hunters went dancing at any old time, the days would all be the same, and I would have no holidays. And so the little prince tamed the fox, and when it was nearly time for them to part, "Oh," said the fox, "I shall cry." "It's your fault," said the little prince. "I didn't mean you any harm, but you want me to tame you." "Of course," said the fox. "But you're going to cry," said the little prince. "Of course," said the fox. "So how has it been worth it?" "It's been worth it," said the fox, "for the color of wheat." Then he added, "Go and see those rows again. You will understand that yours is the only one of its kind in the world. You will come back to say goodbye, and I will give you a secret as a gift." The little prince went off to see the roses. "You're nothing at all like my rose. You are not anything yet," he said to them. "No one has tamed you, and you haven't tamed anyone. You're like my fox used to be. He was just a fox like 100,000 other foxes, but I made him my friend, and now he's the only one of his kind in the world." And the roses were most put out. "You're pretty, but you're empty," he said to them further. "No one could die for you." To an ordinary passerby, of course, my own rose would look no different, but she on her own is more important than all of you, because she's the one I've watered, because she's the only one I put under a clutch, because she's the one I sheltered with a screen, because she's the one for whom I killed caterpillars, apart from 2 or 3 for the butterflies, because she's the one I listen to complaining or boasting or even sometimes being silent, because she's my rose. And he went back to the fox. "Very well," he said. "Very well," said the fox. "Here's my secret. It's very simple. can only see clearly with your heart. What's essential is invisible to the eye. That's essential is invisible to the eye, the little prince repeat, so that he would remember. It's the time that you gave to your rose that makes your rose so important. It's the time that I gave to my rose, said the little prince, so that he would remember. People have forgotten this truth, said the fox, but you mustn't forget it. You become responsible forever for what you have tamed. You are responsible for your rose. I'm responsible for my rose, the little prince repeat, so that he would remember. Hello, said the little prince. Hello, said the railway switchman. What is it you do here? Said the little prince. I sort out passengers in bunches of 1,000, said the switchman. I send off the trains that carry them away, sometimes to the right, sometimes to the left, and an express train lit up and rumbling like thunder made the switchman's cabin tremble. They suddenly are in a hurry, said the little prince. What is they looking for? Even the engine driver does know that, said the switchman. And a second later, express train rumbled past in the opposite direction. They're coming back already? Asked the little prince. They're not the same ones, said the switchman. It's an exchange. Were they not happy where they were? No one's ever happy where they are, said the switchman. And the third lit up express rumbled its thunder. Are they cashing the first lot of passengers? Asked the little prince. They're not cashing anything, said the switchman. They're sleeping there or yawning. Only the children press their noses against the windows. Only children know what they're looking for, said the little prince. They devote themselves to a rag doll, and it becomes very important to them. And if it gets taken away, they cry. They're lucky, said the switchman. Hello, said the little prince. Hello, said the salesman. This was a salesman of innovative pills for relieving thirst. You swallow one a week and no longer feel the need to drink. What are you selling that for? Said the little prince. It's a huge time saver, said the salesman. Experts have worked it out. It frees up 53 minutes per week. And what do you do with those 53 minutes? You do whatever you like. Personally, said the little prince, if I had 53 minutes to spend, I would walk very slowly towards a fountain. It was the 8th day of my breakdown in the desert, and I had listened to the story of the salesman while drinking the last drop from my water supply. Oh, I said to the little prince, your recollections are all well and good, but I still haven't fixed my plane. I've nothing to drink, and I'd be happy too if I could walk slowly toward the fountain. My friend the fox, he said to me, my little man, it's no longer about the fox. Why? Because we are going to die of thirst. He didn't understand what I mean and replied, it's good to have had a friend, even if you're going to die. Personally, I'm very glad to have had a fox for a friend. He has no sense of danger. I told myself, he's never thirsty or hungry. A bit of sun is all he needs. But he was looking at me and answering my thoughts. I'm thirsty too. Let's go and find a well. I made a weary gesture. It's absurd to look for a well at random in the immensity of the desert. Nonetheless, we set off on foot. After we had been walking for hours in silence, night fell and the stars began to shine. I was seeing them as if in a dream, for I was a little feverish with thirst. The words of the little prince were dancing in my memories. So you are thirsty too? I asked him, but he didn't answer my question. He told me simply, water can also be good for the heart. I didn't understand his answer, but I said nothing. I knew by now not to ask him questions. He was tired. He sat down. I sat next to him, and after a silence, he began again. The stars are beautiful because of a flower we cannot see. Of course, I replied, and looked without speaking at the folds of the sand in the moonlight. The desert beautiful, he added. And this was true. I've always loved the desert. You sit on a sand dune. You see nothing. You hear nothing. And yet, there's something glimmering in the silence. What makes the desert beautiful, said the little prince, is that it's concealing a well somewhere. I was surprised to understand all of a sudden the mysterious glimmer of the sand. When I was a little boy, I lived in an old house, and according to legend, a treasure was buried there. Of course, no one had ever managed to find it. Maybe one had even looked for it, but it made the whole house feel enchanted. My house kept a secret deep in its heart. Yes, I said to the little prince, whether it's house, the stars of the desert, what makes them beautiful is invisible. I'm glad, he said, that you agree with my fox. As the little prince was falling asleep, I took him in my arms and set off again. I was moved. I felt I was carrying a fragile treasure. Indeed, I felt there was nothing more fragile on earth but the light of the moon. I looked at that pale forehead, those closed eyes, those locks of hair that trembled in the wind, and I said to myself, what I'm looking at is only a husk. What matters most invisible. And his parted lips catched a half smile. I told myself further, what moves me so deeply about this sleeping little prince is his loyalty to a flower. It's the image of a rose that shines within him like the flame of a lamp, even when he's sleeping, and he seems to me more fragile still. You have to protect lamps. One gust of wind can blow them out. And walking thus, I found the well